Hi, welcome to day 243 of A Year of Grace. Today is 1 Kings 18 and 19, Joel 3, and Psalm 52. But before we read, I want to show you the thread running through all three. Saul threw his spear at David twice. Twice he missed. Then he sent messengers to kill him, and they started prophesying. Then he went himself, and he prophesied too. You cannot kill what God is protecting. You know that moment in a thriller when the villain keeps sending his best people after the hero and every single one of them fails? Think of every spy film where the agency sends wave after wave and the target just keeps walking. That's First Kings 18 and 19. Except the reason David keeps escaping isn't skill or luck. The text says it plainly. The Lord was with David and had departed from Saul. Saul's jealousy begins with a song. The women sing in the streets after Goliath fails. Saul has slain his thousands, David his 10,000s. One verse. First reading from the book of Kings, chapter 18. And it came to pass, when he had made an end of speaking to Saul, the soul of Jonathan was knit with the soul of David, and Jonathan loved him as his own soul. And Saul took him that day, and would not let him return to his father's house. And David and Jonathan made a covenant, for he loved him as his own soul. And Jonathan stripped himself of the coat with which he was clothed, and gave it to David, and the rest of his garments, even to his sword, and to his bow, and to his girdle. And David went out to whatsoever business Saul sent him. And he behaved himself prudently, and Saul set him over the soldiers, and he was acceptable in the eyes of all the people, and especially in the eyes of Saul's servants. Now when David returned, after he slew the Philistine, the women came out of all the cities of Israel, singing and dancing, to meet King Saul, with timbrels of joy and cornets. And the women sung as they played, and they said, Saul slew his thousands, and David his 10,000s. And Saul was exceeding angry. This word was displeasing in his eyes. And he said, They have given David 10,000s, and to me they have given but 1,000. What can he have more but the kingdom? And Saul did not look on David with a good eye from that day and forward. And the day after, the evil spirit from God came upon Saul, and he prophesied in the midst of his house. And David played with his hand as at other times, and Saul held a spear in his hand, and threw it, thinking to nail David to the wall. And David stepped aside out of his presence twice. And Saul feared David, because the Lord was with him, and was departed from himself. Therefore Saul removed him from him, and made him a captain over 1,000 men. And he went out and came in before the people. And David behaved wisely in all his ways, and the Lord was with him. And Saul saw that he was exceeding prudent, and began to beware of him. But all Israel and Judah loved David, for he came in and went out before them. And Saul said to David, Behold my elder daughter Merab, her will I give thee to wife. Only be a valiant man, and fight the battles of the Lord. Now Saul said within himself, Let not my hand be upon him, but let the hands of the Philistines be upon him. And David said to Saul, Who am I, or what is my life, or my father's family in Israel, that I should be son-in-law of the king? And it came to pass at the time when Merab the daughter of Saul should have been given to David, that she was given to Hadriel the Moabite to wife. But Michal, the other daughter of Saul, loved David, and it was told Saul, and it pleased him. And Saul said, I will give her to him, that she may be a stumbling block to him, and that the hand of the Philistines may be upon him. And Saul said to David, In 2 things thou shalt be my son-in-law this day. And Saul commanded his servants to speak to David privately, saying, Behold, thou pleasest the king, and all his servants love thee. Now therefore be the king's son-in-law. And the servants of Saul spoke all these words in the ears of David. And David said, Doth it seem to you a small matter to be the king's son-in-law? But I am a poor man and of small ability. And the servants of Saul told him, saying, Such words as these hath David spoken. And Saul said, Speak thus to David. The king desireth not any dowry, but only 100 foreskins, the Philistines, to be avenged of the king's enemies. Now Saul thought to deliver David into the hands of the Philistines. And when his servants had told David the words that Saul had said, the word was pleasing in the eyes of David to be the king's son-in-law. And after a few days David rose up and went with the men that were under him. And he slew of the Philistines 200 men, and brought their foreskins, and numbered them out to the king, that he might be his son-in-law. Saul therefore gave him Michal, his daughter, to wife. And Saul saw and understood that the Lord was with David. And Michal, the daughter of Saul, loved him. And Saul began to fear David more, and Saul became David's enemy continually. And the princes of the Philistines went forth, and from the beginning of their going forth, David behaved himself more wisely than all the servants of Saul, and his name became very famous. 1 Kings chapter 19. And Saul spoke to Jonathan his son and to all his servants that they should kill David. But Jonathan the son of Saul loved David exceedingly. And Jonathan told David, saying, Saul my father seeketh to kill thee. Wherefore look to thyself. I beseech thee in the morning, and thou shalt abide in the secret place, and shalt be hid. And I will go out and stand beside my father in the field where thou art. And I will speak of thee to my father, and whatsoever I shall see, I will tell thee. And Jonathan spoke good things of David to Saul his father, and said to him, Sin not, O king, against thy servant David, because he hath not sinned against thee, and his works are very good towards thee. And he put his life in his hand, and slew the Philistine. And when Saul heard this, he was appeased with the words of Jonathan, and swore, As the Lord liveth, he shall not be slain. Then Jonathan called David and told him all these words. And Jonathan brought in David to Saul, and he was before him, as he had been yesterday and the day before. And the war began again, and David went out and fought against the Philistines, and defeated them with a great slaughter, and they fled from his face. And the evil spirit from the Lord came upon Saul, and he sat in his house, and held a spear in his hand, and David played with his hand. And Saul endeavored to nail David to the wall with his spear, and David slipped away out of the presence of Saul, and the spear missed him, and was fastened in the wall. And David fled and escaped that night. Saul therefore sent his guards to David's house to watch him, that he might be killed in the morning. And when Michal, David's wife, had told him this, saying, Unless thou save thyself this night, tomorrow thou wilt die, she let him down through a window, and he went and fled away and escaped. And Michal took an image and laid it on the bed, and put a goat skin with a hair at the head of it, and covered it with clothes. And Saul sent officers to seize David, and it was answered that he was sick. And again Saul sent to see David, saying, Bring him to me in the bed, that he may be slain. And when the messengers were come in, they found an image upon the bed, and a goat's skin at its head. And Saul said to Michal, Why hast thou deceived me so, and let my enemy go and flee away? And Michal answered Saul, Because he said to me, Let me go, or else I will kill thee. But David fled and escaped, and came to Samuel in Ramah, and told him all that Saul had done to him. And he and Samuel went and dwelt in Najoth. And it was told Saul by some, saying, Behold, David is in Najoth in Ramah. So Saul sent officers to take David, and when they saw a company of prophets prophesying, and Samuel presiding over them, the Spirit of the Lord came also upon them, and they likewise began to prophesy. And when this was told Saul, he sent other messengers, but they also prophesied. And again Saul sent messengers a third time, and they prophesied also. And Saul, being exceedingly angry, went also himself to Ramatha and came as far as a great cistern, which is in Socho. And he asked and said, In what place are Samuel and David? And it was told him, Behold, they are in Najoth in Ramatha. And he stripped himself also of his garments, and prophesied with the rest before Samuel, and lay down naked all that day and night. This gave occasion to a proverb, What is Saul to among the prophets? Joel chapter 3. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring back the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem, I will gather together all nations, and will bring them down into the valley of Josaphat, and I will plead with them there for my people and for my inheritance Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and have parted my land. And they have cast lots upon my people, and the boy they have put in the stews, and the girl they have sold for wine, that they might drink. But what have you to do with me, O Tyre and Sidon, and all the coast of the Philistines? Will you revenge yourselves on me? I will very soon return you a recompense upon your own head, for you have taken away my silver and my gold, and my desirable, most beautiful things you have carried into your temples. And the children of Judah and the children of Jerusalem you have sold to the children of Greeks, that you might remove them far off from their own country. Behold, I will raise them up out of the place wherein you have sold them, and I will return your recompense upon your own heads. And I will sell your sons and your daughters by the hands of the children of Judah, and they shall sell them to the Sabaeans, a nation far off, for the Lord has spoken it. Proclaim ye this among the nations, prepare war, rouse up the strong, and let them come, let all the men of war come up. Cut your plowshares into swords, and your spades into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Break forth and come, all ye nations, from round about, and gather yourselves together. There will the Lord cause all thy strong ones to fall down. Let them arise, and let the nations come up into the valley of Josaphat. For there will sit to judge all nations round about. Put ye in the sickles, for the harvest is ripe. Come and go down, for the press is full, the vats run over. For the wickedness is multiplied. Nations in the valley of destruction. For the day of the Lord is near in the valley of destruction. The sun and the moon are darkened, and the stars have withdrawn their shining. And the Lord shall roar out of Zion, and unto his voice from Jerusalem. And the heavens and the earth shall be moved, and the Lord shall be the hope of his people, and the strength of the children of Israel. And you shall know that I am the Lord your God, dwelling in Zion my holy mountain, and Jerusalem shall be holy, and strangers shall pass through it no more. And it shall come to pass in that day, that the mountains shall drop down sweetness, and the hills shall flow with milk, and water shall flow through all the rivers of Judah, and a fountain shall come forth of the house of the Lord, and shall water the torrent of thorns. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom a wilderness destroyed, because they have done unjustly against the children of Judah, and shed innocent blood in their land. And Judea shall be inhabited forever, and Jerusalem to generation and generation. And I will cleanse their blood which I had not cleansed, and the Lord will dwell in Zion. Psalm 52. The fool said in his heart, There is no God. They are corrupted and become abominable in iniquities. There is none that doth good. God looked down from heaven on the children of men, to see if there were any that did understand, or did seek God. All have gone aside. They are become unprofitable together. There is none that doth good, no, not one. Shall not all the workers of iniquity know? who eat up my people as they eat bread. They have not called upon God. There have they trembled for fear, where there was no fear. For God hath scattered the bones of them that please men. They have been confounded, because God had despised them. Who will give out of Zion the salvation of Israel? When God shall bring back the captivity of his people, Jacob shall rejoice, and Israel shall be glad. Saul threw his spear twice, and he missed twice. Tomorrow, day 244, will be 1 Kings 20 and 21, Amos chapters 1 and 2, and Psalm 53. David and Jonathan, the covenant that survives the throne. A Year of Grace is offered free of charge. So if you like the content, please like and subscribe. Keep reading, keep praying. Thank you, and have a blessed day.